it dawned upon to me that I was getting a little bit more excessive in my internet usage because I realized my parents started nagging a lot at me. They were nagging at me when I reached home because I was on the computer. They were nagging at me during meal times because I was obviously not at the dinner table and I was just spending a lot of time on the computer. And just before going to bed, they were nagging at me again because I refused to go to bed. I refused to switch off the lights, So that constant nagging made me realize that, hey, I probably was a little bit excessive in my usage. And I guess it somehow affected my schoolwork as well because spending so much time on the computer, on the internet, I neglected my work. So I wasn't handing in my homeworks on time, and I realized that when I went to school, I couldn't really concentrate. I was probably daydreaming a lot of the time, and whenever I was daydreaming, I was thinking about the internet, the websites that I was seeing, the chat rooms that I were in, and how I was so looking forward to quickly going back home and going back into the chat rooms and chat with my so-called online friends. Then I started telling lies. Because I constantly wanted to spend more time on the computer, in this case on the internet. So whenever on weekends my friends were inviting me out for social outings, or at a family when we had to go out to our grandparents' place just for our weekly visits, I refused to go, all because I wanted to be at home and to be online. It came upon a day where I told myself that I really needed help, because I can't really help myself. So I decided that the best group of people that could help me was really my parents. So I shared with them the truth and everything. I shared about the inappropriate content that I had viewed online. I shared with them about how much time I had spent and as well as the lies that I told. They decided that seeing my sincerity or wanting to seek help, they decided to really give it a shot at helping me. So they put in place things like time limitations. They put in place things like contractual agreement with me on how I would be using the internet. They even checked in on me regularly. It was a form of like spot checking on me just to make sure that I was really doing my homework online. I was really using for research purposes as well, and or some form of leisure, but not excessively. The recovery journey was full of ups and downs as well. But I'm very thankful that after probably about a year or so, I have broken free from things like surfing inappropriate content on the internet, getting a very more well-balanced lifestyle, because I've been following my parents' advice about going out with them so that I can be more balanced in my life, both in the real world and also as the virtual world as well. We are not here to say that you can't be using the internet, you can't be using your smartphones. When you're using the internet, just make sure that you don't use it to a point where you neglect other aspects of your life. For example, family time, social relationships, or even your academic studies as well. So what we want to achieve is that there is a good balance, in every aspect of our lives. I guess the second advice that I would give to young people is a very practical advice that stay in control. Because, man created technology to be used as a tool that will bring convenience to our daily lives. So let it stay that way, that it will bring convenience, and it requires us to have that strong self-discipline, strong self-regulation to keep things under control. Keep a balanced life, get involved in many other real-life activities. For example, sports, music, catching up with friends, things that you enjoy in life. Just as you enjoy the internet, also make time to enjoy the real world, because that's where you really live in. And you don't really live in the virtual world, but the virtual is just a place for another form of social leisure activity.